Hello and welcome to my channel. We're doing another video at my parents' house, and today I thought we could try some new Charlotte Tilbury products. These aren't new to the market or anything, but they are new to me. So I have here the Rebel Luxury Palette. This was originally called the Rebel, and then she re-released it as the Green Light Squad when she released 4 color-coded eye quads about a year ago. But this is the original The Rebel, which you could get on a Christmas sale last year. Then in the same sale I also received for Christmas this very nice lipstick from the Hot Lips 2 collection in the shade Patsy Red. So I thought we could just combine the two. Maybe that's not the best combination, but I wanted to make a video about these. So let's get right into it. I'm going to do a full face because that's something I always like to do on my channel when I make my videos, and then eventually we will get to the products that the video is actually about. Did you see my earrings? Wait, let me show you. They're these little cats and they match the lipstick perfectly. Isn't that fun? I thought it was. So for foundation today, I think I'm going into the Huda one. So then of course I'm using my Lancome La Base. If you've watched any of my other videos, I did mention that with this primer the Huda foundation actually works very well for me. Really glides on perfectly and doesn't feel tacky during the day. So this is a miracle thing. It also combined with the Too Faced foundation very well, but that's not the one we're going to use today. So I think this little bit of foundation is actually going to be enough to cover my entire face. I haven't used the foundation with this brush though. Wait, let me zoom you in a little bit. So that's better. I think this duo fiber brush is a little bit too flimsy for this foundation. So it's taking me a long time to blend everything out. So 10 minutes later I have foundation on my face. Because this foundation is very full coverage, I just like to go in with my Pat McGrath concealer. And yes, I do use this almost all the time anyway. But especially with a little bit more fuller coverage foundation. It's funny, at my parents' house I actually have a different set of brushes than at home. Because I don't usually travel with all my brushes, I just keep the most important ones. Or I keep backups of the most important brushes at both houses. And I also have a little bit of makeup here in case I don't bring anything. So that's what I end up using when I'm here. And sometimes they work better than what I have at home and sometimes they don't. And today they don't. I mean, the end result is okay, but I don't know, I really dislike this brush. It's very hard and prickly. Now to set my face, I think I'm going to use the Hourglass powders. So this one and this one, those are finishing powders, but I have heard people say that you can use them as setting powders as well. And I do that from time to time. I especially like using the white one, which is called Diffused Light. And then I like to use the other one, which is called Dim Light, for around the edges of my face. But this white powder really makes your eye look a lot more glam, or your under eye look. And I think that as finishing powders, these are actually a little bit too heavy. they cover a little bit too much of what you have going on. So I end up not really ever using finishing powders. I really want the Guerlain meteorites. I found out that my French Sephora, which is the Sephora closest to me, actually still carries the limited edition spring meteorites from Guerlain. Both the blush shade and the regular shade. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're very pretty. So I'm thinking about picking those up. You'll definitely see them in a video if I do. Okay, let's do a little check. I don't know. I guess it looks okay. I don't know, they're not as magical as I always thought they were. Maybe they really aren't supposed to be used as setting powders. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. But I feel like it looks a little bit more powdery now. Oh well, you live and you learn. Let's go into the first star of this show, which is the Rebel palette by Charlotte Tilbury. Again, these are the 4 shades. And I thought we could do them in a traditional manner. So I'm going to prime, enhance, smoke and pop with these shades. I have a little bit of concealer on my eyes and I blended it out, but no powder on top. So I'm going into this shade first. And I'm going to put that all over my eyelid and in the crease. And for a traditional prime shade for the Charlotte Tilbury quads, this is actually quite dark. The ones that I have in the Copper Charge palette and in the Super Blue palette and also in the Pillow Talk are a lot lighter. But we're just following the instructions here. I am getting a bit of fallout. But it dusts away, so it's okay. Now with the same brush, I'm going into the Enhance shade, which is this one in the corner. Well, they're all in the corner, but in the upper right corner. And I'm going to put this more in the crease. And the beauty of using the prime shade first is that all the other shades get a bit of a golden hue to them. That's why I do like to follow Charlotte's method. Dust away the fallout again. I cleaned up my brush and now I'm going over the edges a little bit. But these shadows are very easy to work with. Now I'm taking my little pencil brush and I'm going into the Smoke shade, which is this shade over here. And I'm going to concentrate that in the outer corner. And I am also taking it in the crease a little bit. Now I'm going to start with the same shade for underneath the lower lash line. Making sure to connect it. And now with the prime shade I'm going to smoke it out a little bit. And then dusting away the fallout again. So by now there is some fallout stuck on my cheeks. Now we're going to use the pop shade. So I'm going in with my finger. And I'm just going to pop this right on top here. So that's the eye look all done. I think this looks amazing. I think it looks very glamorous. The pop shade is a little bit of a letdown, as was the case with the Copper Charge palette, but the other shades more than make up for it. I mean, it's still a pretty shade, it's just not a very sparkly shade or pop shade in the traditional sense. That's okay. I'm going to add some mascara, some liner, my eyebrows, and I'll be right back. I'm back. I finished my eyes using a Catrice green eyeliner in the waterline and then lots of mascara on the top. I used the Yves Saint Laurent Couture lashes, eyelash primer, and then the Maybelline Push Up Drama mascara, which I'm still trying to finish up. Then I was a little bit extra with my brows today because I thought that would match the look. So I used my Dior Pump and Brow as usual, but I first used this Lancome Brow Densify Powder to Cream in the shade Blonde, which is an excellent product. It comes in this little weird, well, it's just a little stick really, and then you can apply it and it really shapes your eyebrows very pretty. So you actually don't even need to use this one after that. And I think the effect of those two combined is very nice. So now let's finish up the face. For bronzer I'm also going into my Hourglass palette. This bronzer is a little bit deep for me, but it is also a little bit more cool toned, or at least a little bit more neutral. So I feel like it still matches my pale skin. I do really like Hourglass bronzers. I don't currently own a full size of any. I just have this Hourglass palette. But they are very pretty. But I do tend to use this bronzer only when I want to look a little bit more glam, because it is a little bit darker. It does shape the face very well. So now I think I went a little bit crazy. So I'm going into the dim light powder. And I'm going to go over the edges, just to lighten up my cheeks a little bit where I went too far. For blush I'm going into my Anastasia Beverly Hills blush palette. And I want to take this shade over here, which is the most neutral of the three. This is the trio in, oh, I think it was supposed to be on here, but the sticker fell off. So I'm not sure which shade this is supposed to be, but it's the red toned one. And I always like using a bit of a red or orange toned blush whenever I do a green eye look. I feel like that complements each other well. And then for highlighter, I think I'm going into my Dior Backstage palette, which is in the shade Rose Gold. And I'm going into the shade Gold Pearl. Because golds also really complement this eye look. This is always such a beautiful highlighter. Oh wait, I'm also going to put a little bit of this right in the inner corner of my eyes. Because that prime shade in the Charlotte Tilbury palette is actually a little bit dark. I like to take a bit of highlighter and put it right there. Just brightens up everything. Now all that's left is lips, and as I mentioned, for lips I have something special. I finally have one of the hot lips too. I really like this because the cases are refillable, so you just pop these out, and I think they're 14 euros cheaper to just buy the refill. So that really pays off. And I really like this case that comes with the Patsy Red. My mom picked this out for me, and well, I couldn't be happier. Oh, these lipsticks smell so nice. They smell sort of like vanilla cookies. And this is in a Matte Revolution formula. Okay, so I definitely should have used a lip liner with this. But this color is beautiful. It's a little bit of a darker red, and then it's a little bit more cool toned. So I think it matches my sweater very well. Yes, I really like this. It's a nice addition to my Charlotte Tilbury family. So I put it back in its little case, and then the look is all done. This is the finished look. I really like how it came out. I really like the bold eyes with the bold lips, but if you don't like it, then just put on a nude and it's all the same. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!